it's time for Crash Team Racing. Crash Team Racing with Hypnoshark. Hypno, how are you?
I'm good. There is no universe I'm matching that energy. That's not happening.
I believe in you. You got this.
I can't possibly co-commentate with Lightning McQueen himself. I mean, that's just, it's a tall order. Welcome.
I'm ready for it.
Welcome. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be something. Regardless, hello, hi, it's me, your boy. We are doing Crash Team Racing. This is a racing game for the Sony PlayStation 1. A lot of you may have heard of it. If you haven't, you're in for a real treat. I say we get this show on the road and then I explain what is going on during the first level or so. But yeah, on that note, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Let's get it. So, immediately Uka is going to spawn and be like, hi, my name is Uka, and I'm going to tell him to shut up, go away. So, this game is a big fan of driving sideways in a go-kart. And if you're a big fan of driving sideways in a go-kart, this is the game for you. We're going to be winning 16 trophy races and beating 4 bosses in this run. All while stopping nitrous oxide from turning the world into a concrete parking lot. That's the law. And enough about that. Time for some speed tech, baby. So first things first, I'm going to direct your attention to the bottom right of the screen where the meter is going up. It's green for a bit, then it's red for a bit. That is where I'm drifting and boosting. I am holding R1 to initiate a drift, and I am pressing L1 when my exhaust is black, as you can see there, and there, and there. You're going to be seeing it a lot. To boost. This coincides with the secondary tech. Not so much a tech, but more of a, fundamental importance of this game, which is reserve management. What reserves are, is it's a big tug of war between me and the game. Every frame that goes by, I am losing my reserves, and every time I boost, I get a bunch. And the moment the reserves hit 0, I lose all of my, speed. But as long as we keep boosting, we will maintain our speed for the whole level, as you have seen here. I don't even need to go off that turbo pad or this turbo pad because I still have reserves. That is the crux of this speedrun. That is what you will be seeing a lot of. The second thing that you'll be seeing a lot of in the speedrun is Uka, and I'm going to tell him to shut up again. No, it's speed ghosting, or SGing. I'm going to be referring to it as SGing for the most part. Basically, any surface in this game that isn't flat, you can speed ghost off of, and that basically means I can propel myself off of it, even up hills, even though it makes no sense. And there is perhaps no greater example of this than the second level in this game, which is Ruse Tubes. This downhill here, you're going to see I get a little bit of speed out of it, and I'm able to jump continuously, and jumping maintains the speed that you have, whatever speed that may be. So I'm going to get a lot of speed off this downhill, and then jump out of it and try and maintain it all the way up this uphill as well, because again, this isn't a flat surface, I can speed ghost off this as well. And as you can see by the minimap, I am already so far clear of the AI, because they are not speed ghosting, and I am speed ghosting. So massive amount of time saved just by doing that. Another thing worth mentioning about this game that hasn't come up yet really, but will, is items and Wumper. So the Wumper icon in the top right next to the lap count saying 0 right now, that'll probably say 0 for the rest of this level, but next level I will be getting some Wumper. Wumper speeds your kart up, a bit like coins in modern day Mario Kart games. They are, I would say, less relevant than coins are in those Mario Kart games. For instance, I believe in Mario Kart World, I believe it is. Well, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a better example. Each coin gives you a 1% speed increase. In this game, Wumper gives you about 0.2%, so it's not as vital. But as you'll see in the longer tracks,
When you get a TNT
like Mystery Caves, which is the track we're going into now, getting Wumper is going to be important because, you know, the longer the track goes on, the more that speed difference is going to matter. So we're going to be getting Wumper on this track, as well as a few SGs. But this track is really a mix of everything that I've kind of talked about so far. We're going to be getting Wumper, we're going to be doing Speed Ghost, but we're also going to be managing our reserves whilst Speed Ghosting. There's something worth mentioning about SGing, is whilst you're hopping out of one, you're not actually boosting. So you have the speed, yes, but your reserves are going down because you're not boosting. So that's kind of the fine dance of this game, is that you're either going to be prioritizing SGing or prioritizing reserves. And some levels, you know, you're going to want to prioritize reserves early in the track so that you can get a good SG and not worry about it affecting your reserves later in the track. It's really interesting. It gets pretty in-depth, but hopefully I'll be able to guide you guys through it.
I think what's interesting is we will during Oops All Driving, and I actually am just realizing this, but I'm totally taking credit for it. We actually are showcasing. We showcased last night Diddy Kong Racing. Today we're doing Crash Team Racing, and then later today, Abney's coming in to showcase Mario Kart 64. And in my opinion, those are the top trio of, like, you know, with this game being on PS1 and those two games being N64, like golden era kart racers for that generation of consoles. Am I missing any? Hypno? I don't know if I am. I think it's those three.
I think that's, like, in terms of the 5th generation of consoles, I think those are the three. Like, I know more about Diddy Kong Racing than MK64 because I've done a fair bit of DKR as well. Nowhere near as much as I do CTR, but enough to know what's going on. And MK64, like, I've watched a ton of it. And, like, yeah, those three games are the best of the 5th gen, I would say. I think later you've obviously, you know, you've got Double Dash and you've got, like, you know, Mario Kart DS. And I hold the opinion that, like, from 2003 to 2008 was like the Mario Kart golden era, I guess, but certainly on the PS1, like CTR, MK64, DKR was kind of like the trio, you know?
Oh, definitely. And of course, you know, Sonic R, it was more in the GameCube era and all that. That was 6th gen. But like, I think this was kind of that trio, you know?
Sonic R, my goat Sonic R. Tour Speedway. Speaking of SGing, this level is like the most hands-on SG you can find. It is very, very apparent what is happening. If you were a bit confused about SGing and how it works before, this level should clear it up because, again, any not flat surface I can SG off of. And this track is basically one big half pipe, so it's all not flat. And this SG right here, going up this wall, rappelling yourself off of it, and then jumping out of it, trying to maintain the speed. I actually hit the wall, which means I lost all my reserves, but I didn't really lose my speed. So I was able to get to this turbo pad and not lose too much time. Sometimes losing reserves matters more in some places than it does others, and that was a great example. Because I lost reserves, but there was a turbo pad in like 5 seconds time, and I still had a great SG. It was kind of okay. See if we can do that again, but this time don't hit the wall. So that SG actually took my reserves away. But again, I can kind of just froggy it out. Froggying is where you just jump repeatedly. I kind of just froggy it out, maintain some speed, get to this turbo pad, and everything's fine. Ideally, I want 32 laps here. 33 is nothing to worry about, though. These barrel cycles, that one there, and this one coming up around this turn, are consistent, so I know for a fact this one will be on my left. There you go. Nice missile, Cortex. I see you, bro. But yeah, so as long as you know like where the barrels are, you never have to worry about them. Or if you do have to worry about them, you have an idea of how to navigate the situation, which is nice. Rather than just blindly guessing where it's going to be. Okay, I hinted at there being 4 bosses. This is the first one. The difference with the boss races in this game compared to other racing games of its kind, I guess, like the before mentioned Diddy Kong Racing and stuff. I guess it's similar in a sense, but basically the AI will put out TNT or potions or some kind of item behind them. The problem is, and this is similar to DKR, is if you get in front of them, it's really just a non-issue. It's only an issue if you're lapping them. If you're lapping them, it becomes a concern. However, and this is some niche stuff, we can abuse the fact that this is a PS1 game and it can't load that many things into memory by placing a bunch of items behind ourselves. Because these TNT that Ripperoo is placing right now will stay on the track as long as it can. But if there's too many items on the track, it will explode because the PS1 can't handle that many items. And this was kind of the game developer's way of making sure that the game never crashed due to too many items. And so I'm just going to get item boxes here and I'm just going to place them. And as you can see, there's no TNTs in my way. There might be some up here, yeah, but because I've placed all those items back there, they're not in my way really, and I'm able to just finish. I instinctively just hit my split key. No comment. No comment at all. Anyways, swiftly moving on. Just instinctively hit my split key. That's terrific. That's awesome. I hope me hitting my split key didn't break everything. Hopefully not. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. All right. So next world. We will be driving through a hub world that you will only see right at the end of the game because this is where the final boss lies. That being nitrous oxide. So this hub world is more played in the 101% completion category of this game, but you can kind of see the oxide final boss door all the way over there. But we will not be going over there as of right now because this is hub 2. We will be going to Tiger Temple first. This is the first level that really introduces the idea of RNG into the speedrun. You kind of saw a little hint of it when that AI shot the missile at me earlier. AI can troll. But this is the first level that is very, very RNG. It's the only intended shortcut like it in the game. You need a certain item to open a shortcut door. You can kind of see it on the minimap at the bottom of the screen. Unlucky. So we need an item that we can throw forward. A TNT and a boost item we cannot throw forward. The other 3 items that you get in first, which is a shield, a bomb, or a potion, you can. That is a potion, so we are set for lap 2. We're going to hold on to this until the next lap. The average is 2 out of 3. You can only get 1 item optimally on lap 1 before you reach the shortcut door. Whereas on lap 2 and 3, you get 2 attempts at it before you pass by the door. So the average is not getting it on lap 1 and then getting it on lap 2 and 3. That is kind of the norm, and that is exactly what happened here. So that's completely fine. More than okay. TNT, potion. The chances of getting a TNT is 40%. That is going to be important later on, because note how I said it's the only intended skip that requires an item. There is going to be a very, very unintended skip later. 2 in fact, but both are going to require an item. One of them being a TNT/nitro. Something I haven't mentioned yet, I did bring up Wumpa and its importance, but I didn't mention the fact that when you get 10 Wumpa, your items get better. And this is important because, for instance, instead of getting a TNT, if you're on like 9 Wumpa, if you get 10 Wumpa, you'd get a nitro. And the difference in certain situations is pretty crucial. For instance, a turbo boost item will only give you the same amount of speed as doing 3 mini turbos if you don't have Wumpa. But if you do have Wumpa, if you have 10 Wumpa, it will give you the same amount of speed as going off a turbo pad, which is way quicker. So that's a pretty good example. Might actually Unlucky. I tried to get a boost item there. I was going to say might actually be able to show it off, but unfortunate. But in terms of items being important, the next level is crucial. And as there's not much going on in this level, besides a few little downhill SGs here and there, I will explain the next shortcut now. So, Papu's Pyramid is the next level. It is absolutely insane. We will be going for a shortcut that used to be time trial only. It's been implemented in the speedrun for a little bit now, but it is very, very stupid. It is very, very insane to go for. We will be getting an Uka Uka mask, which is basically the equivalent of a star power-up in Mario Kart. And then we will be using that mask for its speed, jumping off of a wall, hopefully not getting bounced off of the wall, because the wall tries to bounce you off it because it's unintended that you're on it. And then propelling myself using the speed of the mask, landing in a very specific area and skipping a lap. I will be attempting to do this twice, 2 times in a row. This is very, very difficult. I'm not expecting to get it twice. I am hopeful I can get it at least once. We will see. But this is a trick that's called Tiziano, or double Tizzy, if I hit both. Here's hoping. It's a 25% chance to get an Uka mask to even attempt the skip. And then once you get the RNG, you've got to hit a very, very difficult jump. So, here's hoping. Alright, here we go. It's worth mentioning, if we don't do it, there are also other skips in this level, but none as big as this one. So here we go. Second try is brilliant. That's in odds.
This is never would I ever think that Hypno would be in 8th place. Not anymore.
That's one. It's close. It's really close, man. Okay. So that was very, very nearly double Tizzy. The line that's going down the middle of the track is kind of the visual cue for if you're going to make it or not. And as you can see on that second attempt, I landed just shy of it. This is the other skip that is in this level. Jump up here, jump to here, and then this is the unintended part. Now I can land near the finish line. The reason why I can't land near the finish line before, and I have to land all the way over there to get the lap count, is because I haven't driven around a lot of the track yet. The way that checkpoints work in this game are, nice. The way that checkpoints work in this game, unlike, like, for instance, I don't know, the Carters 2 is a good example. A game where there's 3 key checkpoints and you need to drive through all of them to get a lap count. Unlike that game, in this game, basically, in layman's terms, every time you go forward a pixel, it's technically a checkpoint, because 25% down the track loads in. So technically, if you've done 75% of a track or more, you can skip right to the end and it will count the lap. However, the reason why that trick works is because of a fail-safe that the game developers left in, where some tracks, if you jump from after the finish line to before the finish line in a very specific area, it will count the lap regardless. That is one such track that has it. We call it an NMZ. I believe it's like no mask zone, I believe is the exact terminology. Basically meaning you won't get picked up if you land there, whereas any other area you will. Again, nerd talk. Anyways, Dingo Canyon. This is a more chill level, so we can relax. We can turn off our brains a bit and smash my finger into the R1 button like I was destined to do. You know, I wasn't meant to use my brain. I was meant to, you know, return to monkey, hit R1, you know, get on a downhill and
brain does not
crazy.
Exist sometimes, and that is okay.
Yeah, no.
I haven't had mine in years.
No, I'm waiting to get mine removed. I'm waiting. It's a long process, but you know, we're getting there.
It's okay.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
I'm just waiting to get off the wait list to get mine back.
Sure. That checks out. Might be a long wait.
I mean, I've been waiting years, so yeah. I gotta be at least halfway through the waiting list.
Opium. Oh man. 360 for the fellas. It had to be done. Yeah, so about that whole brain removal thing, like...
Yep. You know, uh-huh. It just happened.
You know. That was funny. Alright, Papu. Oh boy. So, second boss in this game. The first boss, Ripperoo really can't do a whole lot to us. This guy can. We won't be going for Tiziano in this level though, because you cannot get Uka Uka masks in boss races. So we will not be doing it. But besides the potions that he places, this is effectively the same race as the lap 2 and 3 I just did on Papu's Pyramid. This run, even with me messing around in Dingo Canyon and having a goof, is actually quite good because I hit single Tizzy, and I got good mask RNG, which is not all bad. I'm going to place a TNT here. This is niche, but basically if I place a TNT there and Papu drives into it, and I have his lines memorized, and he usually drives over that part of the finish line. Let's see if he does. You'll see his icon flash red. Unlucky, I think he barely missed it. But the idea of that is the TNT will be disappeared anyway, but if he hits it, he won't place potions on this section, and I won't have to avoid them. I avoided them anyway, so that's fine. But it can sometimes, you know, negate a spicy situation with his potions. His potions so far have been completely fine. They might get in the way here, kind of. Nah, we're good. That's actually a really, really nice Papu. Should be anyway, as long as I don't mess up this, which we don't. That was really good. That was really clean. Good run. Good run. Again, besides me being hilarious in Dingo Canyon and getting brain removal surgery, you know, it's fine. It's okay.
Everything's fine. You're doing great.
I'm interested, actually. I wonder what this pace is. Is it at, like... I'm going to go ahead and assume we're at, like, 21:10 on the timer right now. It's my guess. Hard read.
Yeah. We're at about, about 22... Yeah, 22:10. Something like that.
Yeah. It's pretty all right. It's not bad. Going into Hub 3, this is where the run gets really, really spicy. If you get past Tiziano, which is kind of the main reset point for top level runs, this is where post Hub 2 things get really, really interesting. Blizzard Bluff is a 1 minute 10-second level with 9 shortcuts, 3 per lap. This is one of them. This is definitely the easiest one by a mile. But there are 2 coming up back to back at the end of this level. This boulder cycle is worth mentioning as well. I'll bring it up on lap 2, but that's the second shortcut, and that's the third. Very good. That's a clean Bluff lap 1. I am worried about the boulder. So this boulder cycle is technically consistent. However, lag on the console massively affects where it'll be. Luckily, I kind of noticed that there wasn't that much lag on the console, so it wasn't going to slow the boulder down that much. So the boulder was always going to be ahead of me there. Weird looking rail shortcut, but we got it, and that's all that matters. Let's see if we can have a good lap 3 here. It's not been the cleanest Bluff, but as long as you don't fail one of the shortcuts, it's never really a worry. Pretty bad SG through those hills. Oh, that's a no drift. Polar, don't you dare. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, really weird Bluff, but it's a-okay. Very weird. Very strange. But it will do. Speaking of strange, this next tech is new. Uka no longer gives us hints, so we can hit start, frame perfectly, and skip him saying the congratulations, you win a trophy line. Very nice to hit that. That is 1 out of 1. We get to do it 6 times. We don't get to do it 8 times, even though there are 8 more trophy races left, simply because the last of each hub world is interrupted by a boss cutscene rather than taking you back to the hub like that. So we get 6 attempts at pauses, that is 1, and we hit it immediately. Another level with cycles like the boulder, there's minecart cycles here. These are consistent and these aren't really affected by lag the same way, so I am more easily able to predict where they are. They are still affected by lag minorly, but not to the same degree as Bluff. So 26.64 lap 1 means that this boulder should be just ahead of this minecart, excuse me, should be just ahead here. And it is. Very good. And that is probably a good enough lap 2 to mean that I will be beating the next minecart cycle. I should be ahead of it as long as this start to lap 3 is clean. Let's see how this SG goes. That's beautiful. Got a landing boost there as well. Don't really need to worry about reserves anymore. This is terrific. Give me a boost time because it'd be funny. Unlucky. The final tech to explain, which I haven't really delved into yet because it hasn't been like stupidly relevant, but it's about to be, especially when we get into Tiny Arena, is U-turning. U-turning is a tech that involves losing all of your reserves on purpose. Unlucky, no pause there. Losing all of your reserves on purpose, but allowing you to do a really sharp turn. And because of froggying / SGing, we're usually able to, if we're not able to keep the reserves, we're able to keep the speed, because again, jumping continuously maintains the speed. So we are playing as Dingo Dial, who has the highest top speed in the game, but the lowest turning. However, U-turning kind of allows us to get away with our bad turn stat in situations where we otherwise wouldn't, and the minecart shortcut back there in Dragon Mines was a great example. This is also hopefully a great example. Oh, unlucky. So I made it, but I didn't quite U-turn sharp enough to enable myself to stay on. We'll take like a half boomerang out of one though. That's a tech called boomerang. You're doing a boomerang shaped jump on yourself. You're going back on yourself basically as you clear the lake. But it's a very, very nice tech. And it is one of the 3, I would say, main run killers before Hub 4. Tiziano, Tiny Arena, which is the level after this, and this. It saves 8 seconds every time you do it right compared to failing it. So there goes 8 seconds. Well, actually, hang on. I have a boost item backup. That is the coolest backup to get at GDQ ever. That's so sick. That's 2 seconds faster than the normal backup of going to the turbo pad and doing it that way. I would like to hit one normal lap. This has been the most non-standard polar pass of all time. One boomerang where I made it but I fell off, which is rare, and then one where I got a boost iron backup, which is even rarer. This is a very weird polar pass, but I wouldn't mind getting this last one. Let's see if we can do it. Unlucky. Too wide. That's okay. This is the normal backup here. You just turn around at this turbo pad, get the speed, and go at it from this angle. That angle is an infinitely more forgiving angle because you're already driving that way. So it's way nicer. But yeah, very weird polar pass, but it's fine. As I said, that's one of the main run killers, and sadly, if this was on world record pace with a polar pass like that, it definitely wouldn't be any longer. But that's fine. Probably lost about 20 seconds there or so, but that's okay. 20 seconds to optimal, it's worth having. Congratulations. Nice pause. So 2 out of 3 on the pauses, not bad, not bad. So, to be honest, everything that I've just mentioned in terms of time saves and time losses and blah, 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 none of it really matters until this level. This level has a skip that, if you get it, saves 45 seconds over failing it, and you get to do it twice. So I could save or lose a minute and a half here, depending on how this goes. I alluded to needing a TNT/nitro to doing a skip earlier. That is what this is all about. I need a TNT or a nitro at some point in this lap 1. He says as he doesn't get his 40% chance. There we go. Thank you. So I'm gonna get Wumper and make this driving is interesting. I'm gonna make this a nitro and then place it against a wall, drive into it at a specific angle, and attempt to launch myself over the wall using the propulsion of hitting a nitro. This is very, very difficult to do consistently. It's not too difficult to get once, but to do it consistently is hard, and this is a great test. So here we go. Maybe placed it a bit too early. It can work though. Come on, man. Let's go. Okay, that's 1 out of 1.
Just flexing a little bit, Hypno. Just flexing a little bit. I get it.
I mean, a flex would be hitting 2. That's a boost die. I'm unlucky. So you only get 2 attempts at this item roulette before you start losing time. We got a second try. That is all I need. That is what I would say is a more textbook nitro, but the last one works. So let's see if this one does. Unlucky. Probably a bit too far right. That's okay. Dude, 1 out of 2. So I got 1 Tizzy and I got 1 TA in a resetless. Pretty good. Pretty good. And I made a boomerang, but I fell off the other side. Yeah, it's not bad. It's really not bad for a marathon run. Yeah, not bad at all. It would have been really fun to make 2. Making 2 would have been real fun, but beggars can't be choosers, I'm afraid. But that's okay. It's more than okay. Yeah, I think, forgive me if I'm wrong, I believe I set the estimate as a 55-minute time. Is that correct?
Let me check. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Yes, 55 minutes.
Yeah, we are absolutely dumpstering that. We are...
Oh, I'm pumped.
We are Dwayne Wade to LeBron picture that estimate, to be honest. Like, it is getting destroyed. All right, third boss, Komodo Joe. Komodo Joe is, again, a boss that can troll. It can definitely troll. Mainly due to the fact that, unlike Ripperoo, who just shot TNTs behind him, Komodo Joe will shoot TNTs upwards but then explode upon landing, and the occasional nitro. The reason why this is rough is because before we were kind of relying on the PS1's hardware limitations to make items disappear quickly. We can't do that as easily. We can if we absolutely spam items. We can absolutely do that. But we can't do it as easily. So I'm going to not place a TNT here because I actually don't want to hit him with it. Because if I hit him with it, he's going to be slower and we're going to lap him quicker, which means we have to deal with his items quicker. So I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to place it wide and hope he doesn't hit it. Just throw this potion against the wall. It's actually a ridiculous lap 1. 25.86 is very pretty. Should be an interesting minecart cycle. It's worth mentioning the minecart cycles in Komodo Joe compared to Dragon Mine's trophy are actually different. You do get different minecart cycles for the boss compared to the trophy race, which is an interesting tidbit that does play a part. This is where I need to start looking out for nitros, especially around this turn here. Okay, it's here. That's fine. I'm going to place that potion and try and get them to explode quicker. Place my own nitro. You saw? Okay, that's a perfect example. If you want to go back and clip it, you can. I placed that nitro, and the moment that I placed it, that other nitro exploded in the distance. And that's because the PS1 couldn't handle it, and it just got rid of it. And that's why we place items in boss races like that. That was a really, really good Komodo joke. Really, really clean. My world record actually loses like 4 seconds to Komodo Joe because he placed a nitro behind an item box that I couldn't see, which was really unlucky. That would have saved time in world record. That was a really, really nice Komodo Joe. Alright, hub 4 time. So we have 3 keys, 12 trophies. There are 4 more trophies left, a 4th key boss, and then the final Oxide boss. This part of the run introduces a brand new tech, the final tech of the run. It's called Ultimate Sacred Fire. Don't ask who came up with these names. I don't know. Very interesting name. But the idea of it, it's a turbo pad unique to this hub world and a track called Turbo Track, which you only play in the 101% completion category of this game, where, unlike every other ramp, if you don't jump off it, this one here, I'm not going to jump, and as you see, I go really, really fast off of it. And I will keep going really, really fast as long as I have more than 1 reserve. So this entire level becomes, and as you can see, it's really flat, so there's not many SGs here. So this whole level becomes just stacking reserves, getting as many reserves as you can, boosting everywhere. And then the moment that you reach this USF pad, you can go absolutely flying through this end section. But it's worth mentioning, if I boost at any point, I immediately lose the speed. So once I go off this turbo pad, I can't keep it forever because my reserves will eventually hit 0, and I can't boost to keep them up because boosting also makes the speed go up. So it's very, very like unique type of turbo pad in this game, but again, you will only see it in 3 tracks in this speedrun. It is in 5, but we will be doing skips that skip 2 of them. And the skips are very, very cool. And infinitely faster than the USF pad in those levels, but this level and the next level, you will see it in, yeah, as you can see, I'm just not boosting at all. I'm actually going to U-turn here, but because I'm jumping, I'm able to maintain the speed a little bit longer. It's not bad, Engine Labs. It's not bad, not bad. You can get 41 laps here. If your first section gets like lucky SG propulsion shenanigans off of those first 2 ramps in the level, but 42s are absolutely fine. They will do a-okay. One last jump to this USF pad, don't jump off of it. Then nice cornering to the line. 209 Engine Labs is nothing to be mad about. That's a-okay. See if we can hit another pause before Cortex Castle, which will be the other level that has USF. Congratulations! Started hitting start a little bit too early there. Like I said, it is a frame perfect trick, so it's not too easy. But I've gone 2 out of 4 this run, which isn't bad. Alright, Castle. So this, in my opinion, I'll always hold this opinion, I think, is the most technical level in the game without a shortcut, or without an unintended shortcut. It is all 90-degree turns, and with a character with such a low turn stat like Dingo Dial, and the fact that it has a USF pad in it, meaning you can't really rely on U-turns because you want reserves, and U-turns, obviously, as I say, make you lose all your reserves. You kind of just have to play it out and like not U-turn all and just make the turns that are really, really hard with this character. It's worth it because your speed stat is so good, but it is really, really like technical and hard, and you kind of have to lead your corners. A good example is this section right here. You just did a USF, so you have no reserves, and then you have to get enough reserves in those turns there and make that turn to keep your reserves on this section, which isn't always guaranteed. And then make this turn. Oh my god. Yeah, you can see how it's hard with this character's turn stat without U-turning. We are going to go off this turbo pad here just to rely, or not rely rather, but to ensure that our USF off this turbo pad is reliable. And it is. Oh, barely touched the wall trying to go inside that spider there. Unfortunate. May as well start stacking reserves early. It's a little, like, 1 second time loss, but not a big deal in the grand scheme of this run. Like I said, we got 1 TA skip and 1 tizzy, which is all important in resetless marathon style runs, so I'm very, very happy with that. But yeah, in fact, it's worth mentioning, the intended shortcut feels just like part of the level. I haven't even brought up that what I'm doing here is a shortcut. You're cutting off that whole turn there. We are just gonna froggy this to the line rather than try and take tight lines, because we can now afford to U-turn, because that is the end of the level. We have no use for our reserves anymore. May as well U-turn to the line. This next section is what we call the gauntlet. This is Hot Air Skyway and Oxide Station, followed by Hot Air Skyway and Oxide Station. This section of the run is very, very difficult. Hot Air Skyway has 9 shortcuts in it, and you're playing it twice, so 18 shortcuts. And Oxide Station has, no matter how you do it, 6 shortcuts in it, so that's 12. So 30 shortcuts are still left in the run, even though there's only 4 tracks left. This is one of them. I'm gonna drop down here. Got a really good SG on that downhill, which is not guaranteed. Gonna link it into turning around here and jumping over this wall. That's the easy one. But then this is the hardest one, and ironically it saves the least amount of time. Gonna be jumping over an invisible wall here. This is called Hairpin. Nice. That is not easy. It looks easy because you can't see the invisible wall. However, it stretches really, really high up, and I'll probably fail it at least once, and it'll showcase just how high the invisible wall is.
Wrong way!
But wrong way turn skip here. Drop down again. If you're wondering why, by the way, I drive all the way to the top of the spiral before turning around, it's to do with what I said before about how this game loads in 25% of the lap ahead of you. So I need to drive to the top of the spiral to be able to drive on the section that I am jumping to below. If I try to immediately jump to it below me, it will respawn me, because it will realize that I've skipped more than 25% of the level. But if I drive up to here, then turn around, it will have already loaded in this part below me. Like so. And it allows me to drive. Crash might get in the way of my turnaround here. This is awful. Okay, he didn't. Gotta look out for the AI. Polar goes flying past my ear. Amazing. This hairpin for a ridiculously good Hot Air Skyway, and I got a pause before this. Unlucky. That's a great example of the invisible wall. Stretches very, very high. To be fair, that was definitely my fault. Jumped a little bit too early there, but still a really good Hot Air, all things considered.
How do you like, is it just muscle memory here, Hypno, or do you like prep, like do you like just constantly run these courses in order to find these skips like that?
I mean, worth mentioning, I am absolutely terrible at finding skips. I definitely have not found jack diddly squat in this game. Like, I have not found anything. But in terms of like hitting the skips, I've ran this game a long time. It's muscle memory. I don't really practice this game. I don't really practice this game.
What's your advice for people that want to learn doing skips like this?
Do a run, and then if it's really, really bad, do another run and beat it with your prior experience of doing the first run. And then do it again and again and again. I'm very much... There are some speedrunners
Full repetition.
Yeah, there are some speedrunners that are very much like, I'm going to hone in on this one part that I'm struggling on and practice it for a really long time and then do runs. I've always been kind of a believer in you can't practice for being in the run. Like, it's very well, for instance, me practicing this skip here where you drop down to the spiral, load it in, then do this next part. It's very well me practicing it, but when I'm on world record pace and the nerves are going, it doesn't mean anything, right? So,
Sure.
I've always been a big believer in that. But in terms of learning the skip, I mean, there's always tons of guides out there. There's tons of people that are willing to help you. That's the beauty of speedrunning in 2026. It's so big now. There's so many people around, you know, you just ask a question and you're going to get an answer pretty quick, you know. It's the great part about it. Crash, don't you dare. Thank you, sir. Oh, should I go for a skip that, like, hasn't been hit in a run that is PB'd for anyone yet? Sure. Why not? This is a time trial only shortcut that we're looking to implement into the speedrun. Let's go for it. Why not? Gonna jump to this rail. Unlucky. So I'll go for it in the final boss as well. Because why not? Nice one. Because why not? That's really funny. There we go. There's the backup. But there is a shortcut there that saves about 5 seconds. But it requires you to land on a rail, jump on the underside of a turbo pad to load in that part, get propelled off the underside of the track, go flying, land on a really thin rail, stay on that rail, and then turn around at the finish line, and it counts the lap. It's ridiculous, it's absolutely absurd, it's stupid. It realistically should never be done in a speedrun, and yet speedrunning in 2026, we're doing dumb stuff in order to go fast. Imagine that.
And I'm gonna say
so, you know, we got that going on for us.
of course.
We got to get past him Foist. It's Pinstripe. This is the final visit to Hot Air Skyway. Again, 9 more shortcuts to be done. We do have to look out for his bombs. Every other boss has shot items back in some capacity that stay on the track. Pinstripe doesn't, which actually kind of means that Pinstripe is easier than the Hot Air Skyway trophy, because the AI can get in the way on lap 3 of the trophy, whereas Pinstripe doesn't really bother us except for one tiny portion, maybe, if we're really unlucky, but not really. So this is basically just a straight shot, me against the track. No items to worry about. We'll see what can be done. 3 hairpins to go. Let's see if we can hit this one. Oof, that was close. That very nearly failed, but it just crept over the invisible wall. Yeah, any lap around the 39 is completely fine. Gonna try and get a boost item. You want to get as many items as possible in tracks where you U-turn. Because, you know, before I mentioned U-turning loses your reserves, right? And loses your turbo pad speed. I have no idea why I placed a nitro there, though. It's not a good idea. But I want to keep shooting my items away in hopes that I get a boost item. Because the moment that I U-turn, I lose all my speed, but I can utilize the boost item that I have to get my speed immediately back. And that can save, like, you know, a lot of time. You know, having turbo pad speed where you otherwise wouldn't usually have it in the speedrun route is quite the time save for just rotating your items. Yeah, that nitro was very stupid. I had to avoid my own item there. That was very dumb, but it's fine. One more attempt at a turbo boost item. Yeah, not to be. Final hairpin of the run. 4 out of 6. Not bad.
Nice.
4 out of 6.
I say 6 out of 6. I think that was a 6 out of 6. You might have done it 4 times, but it's 6 out of 6 in score.
Yeah, y'all saw nothing. Yeah, y'all didn't see me fail it twice. What do you mean? What is wrong with you? You didn't see it?
Nope. It was definitely all 6. You hit all of them.
That brain removal was going really well. Anyways.
It's a key for your troubles.
Alright, Oxide. So, yeah, I may as well go for the dumb shortcut. Why not? I'll go for a lap 2 and 3. I'll get Wumpa first to try and make it easy for myself. Easier. It's really stupid to go for, but hey, we're having fun. We're going to smash estimate. Who cares? Let's have a laugh.
And I had a question here. You've been playing as the same character the entire time. Are there any other characters that are viable in this run?
Yeah, Dingodile and Tiny. Dingodile and Tiny are basically just reskins of each other. They have the exact same stats. high speed, whatever acceleration and low turn. If you're starting out with the speedrun, I would really, really recommend you go with Coco and Engine. They only lose 30-ish seconds across the whole run to optimal speed character play. And they're way easier to use, and if you're new to the game, it will be faster for you to use them rather than really struggle on tracks like Cortex Castle without, or with Dingo and Tiny. It will be much faster for you if you're starting out. Okay, this is going to be a pretty good lap one, 39 I think, yeah. Alright, we're going to go for the dumb cut. We're going to go for the really stupid thing, and we're going to have a laugh. So instead of jumping to the left, like I have been doing, I am instead going to jump to the right and catch this rail. Oh my god. Oh, man. Okay, it's going to spawn me here because I did touch the turbo pad. Okay, unlucky. I can still get a backup where I kind of show off the idea. Okay, so you want to stay on this rail. Okay, I got it. That's cool. It's at least cool to show off the idea. So if I had somehow stayed on the rail there, that's what I would have done. I would have gotten like a 34-second lap instead of a 45. But yeah, I mean, it's a ridiculous shortcut. The fact that I nearly got that is insane. Okay, I guess I'll go for it one more time. That wasn't that bad of a lap. Why not? Let's see what we can do. Nah, not quite. I'm lucky. We'll give it one more go. I have 8-1 per. It's still somewhat doable. Ah, no, not quite. Alright, we'll finish the run. Why not? Good attempts, though. I'm happy that I got that close to getting it. That's really, really cool. Oh, hi, Oxide. How are you? Hey, bud. What's up, man? How's it going? Can I get someone to hit you with? Yes. Hey, Oxide, catch. That felt mean. It was deserved. He was going to turn the word in the concrete parking lot. And time. GG's, man. GG's.
GG. Oh my gosh. Hypno, this was epic. Seriously. Thanks so much for showcasing Crash Team Racing here. It was so much fun. Seriously, you absolutely killed it. This was a blast. Hypno, why don't you tell everybody that does not know who you are, what you've been up to, where they can find you, and what you've got going on.
So yeah, if I may shamelessly plug myself,
please do.
I stream every day 12 till 6 UK time at twitch.tv/Hypnoshark. You can find me there. Yeah, every day 12 till 6. That is where I am at. I do a lot of Crash Team Racing. This is my main speed game. But I do a fair bit of Crash, Spyro, niche PlayStation stuff. Nintendo stuff, I do a fair bit of Mario Kart speedruns. I talked about my history with Diddy Kong Racing. I speedrun that a bit. Name it, I've probably speedrun it. I'm a bit all over the place, but Crash Team Racing is where I most reside. But yeah, that's where you can find me. Thank you again to GDQ for having me. This has been really, really cool. I always love doing these Hotfix runs. I will always love doing these Hotfix runs, truthfully. Yeah, perhaps next time I do one of these Hotfix runs, I'll have to do a different game because, like I said, I do speedrun a whole bunch of different stuff. I've done CTR a fair bit for Hotfixes, but it's always a blast, man, like showcasing this game. If you ever don't know, by the way, CTR is currently kind of going through a golden generation, golden period, whatever you want to call it. It's got a incredible mod scene now. Custom tracks are being made every day. In the last week, we had 2 custom track adventure modes, where it's like an adventure mode like this, but with custom tracks and custom hub worlds and everything. It's quite incredible. Yeah, it's quite unreal. So if you want to keep up with the happenings, then yeah, CTR is the place to be right now. But again, thank you for having me. I've shamelessly plugged myself. That's enough of me. But yeah, thank you again. Well, much love. Really appreciate it.
We appreciate you so much. Seriously, this was awesome. And folks, again, you should hover over the title of the stream if you're on desktop and click that follow button if you're not already following Hypno. They're, again, an incredible member of our GDQ community and also just an awesome speedrunner. We're going to take a short break. And when we return, we are jumping in to our F0 block. We're jumping into F0 GX. Stick around, folks. Hotfix will be right back.